Have you ever felt that you're giving so much of yourself in a relationship, pouring your heart out, always being available, and yet somehow not getting the respect or attention you deserve? I'm sure you have. In fact, it's something many of us have experienced at one time or another. Today, I want to talk with you about something that might seem a bit hard to accept at first. Sometimes, by chasing after someone, you might be inadvertently lowering your own value. And I'm not saying this to be harsh. Rather, I want to help you understand how your actions shape the way others see you, and more importantly, how you see yourself. I remember a time when I was always the one reaching out, always available for calls, messages, and plans. I thought that by being so eager and present, I was showing genuine interest. But over time, I realized that my constant availability was sending the wrong message, that my worth depended solely on someone else's validation. Slowly, I noticed that the spark in my relationships began to fade, and I felt a growing emptiness that wasn't there before. It took a while, but I eventually learned that true respect starts from within. When you focus on nurturing your own passions and priorities, you become a person who naturally attracts healthy, balanced connections. Today, I want us to explore this idea together. We'll talk about how giving too much of yourself can lead to a loss of respect, and how embracing your own value can change the dynamic of your relationships. If you find these ideas helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel and clicking the notification bell. Your support means the world to me, and it helps spread a message of balance and self-respect. Throughout our conversation, I'll share stories, real-life examples, and practical advice to help you see that your energy is precious. We'll discuss why constantly trying to win someone's approval might backfire, and how stepping back can actually bring more genuine interest into your life. So, settle in, get comfortable, and let's talk about reclaiming your self-worth, starting right now. Let's talk about the harsh truth about chasing women. Have you ever noticed that when you're always chasing after a woman's attention, something seems to change in the way she sees you? This might be tough to hear, but here's why it happens. When you constantly pursue someone, you risk sending a message that your self-worth is tied solely to her approval. Over time, that constant pursuit can lead to a gradual loss of respect, not only from her, but also from yourself. Consider this. In the early stages of attraction, it's completely natural to want to show your interest. You send a text, make a call, or plan a date because you're excited to connect. However, when you become the one who is always reaching out, your actions can start to appear desperate rather than genuinely caring. Let me tell you how this plays out in real life. Imagine you meet someone at a social event, and you immediately feel that spark. You send her a friendly message afterward, excited to keep the connection alive. At first, it feels great. Your enthusiasm is appreciated. But as days turn into weeks, if you continue to be the only one initiating contact, your effort can start to feel one-sided. What once felt like warm affection may begin to seem like over-eagerness. This might be tough to hear, but here's another crucial point. Constant chasing sends a signal that your self-esteem depends entirely on her response. Each time you send an extra text or call without waiting for her to reciprocate, you may be inadvertently lowering the value of your own time and energy. Instead of creating a dynamic built on mutual effort, you establish a pattern where your attention becomes expected rather than appreciated. When something is always given freely, its allure gradually diminishes. Now, pause for a moment and think. Have you ever felt that sting of disappointment when your message is met with silence or a delayed response? That feeling is your inner self, questioning whether you're coming on too strong or if you're simply over-investing in someone who isn't meeting you halfway. In many cases, this over-investment leads to a subtle power imbalance. When you're always chasing, you may end up giving more of yourself than you receive, which can ultimately make you feel unappreciated and even devalue your own worth. Let's break it down further with a relatable example. Picture a scenario where you send a good morning text every single day, followed by multiple messages throughout the day. Initially, these actions might be seen as thoughtful. However, after a while they become routine. When your attention is expected, its impact fades. In a balanced relationship, both people should make an effort to connect, creating a natural rhythm of give and take. But when one person is always doing the chasing, that balance is lost. Instead of feeling special, your attention starts to feel ordinary, like it's simply a part of your daily routine. This behavior is often fueled by a deep-seated fear of rejection or a desperate need for validation. When you rely on her responses to boost your self-esteem, every moment of silence can trigger anxiety. You might find yourself obsessively checking your phone or overthinking each pause in communication. This cycle of anxiety not only drains you emotionally, but also reinforces the notion that you need her approval to feel worthy. And the more you chase, the more your self-worth becomes entangled with her responses, creating a vicious cycle that erodes your confidence over time. Let me tell you how this emotional cycle typically unfolds. In the beginning, the thrill of the chase might give you temporary confidence, a surge of excitement with every response. But as that excitement fades, you start to question whether your efforts are truly appreciated. Each delay or non-response chips away at your self-esteem, leading you to feel increasingly desperate. Before you know it, you're caught in a loop where your happiness is completely dependent on her validation. And that's a dangerous place to be emotionally. This might be tough to accept, but when you constantly chase, you're not giving her the space to see your true value. Instead of nurturing your own interests and passions, you focus all your energy on winning her over. Over time, this one-sided focus can lead you to lose sight of who you are. Your identity becomes entangled with the pursuit, and you may start sacrificing your own needs just to keep her attention. When you lose your sense of self in the process, it becomes all too easy for respect, both from her and from yourself, to diminish. Think about a time when you felt that nagging emptiness after putting in all that effort, only to end up feeling unfulfilled. That emptiness is often a signal that your energy is being taken for granted. Instead of building a relationship on mutual admiration, the constant chase creates an imbalance where your value is measured by how much you're willing to pursue. And as you continue to chase, you might find that not only does her interest wane, but your own self-respect starts to erode. Let's explore this idea further. In a healthy, balanced relationship, both partners invest equally. There's a natural rhythm where each person contributes to the connection. However, if you're always the one reaching out, it disrupts that balance. The natural anticipation that fuels excitement is replaced by a sense of obligation. Rather than feeling desired, you start to feel that your constant attention is something she simply expects. And once your efforts become routine, they lose their impact, and with that, the respect you initially sought begins to fade away. Another important aspect is the psychological toll that constant chasing takes on you. When you base your self-worth on her responses, you give away your power. Every moment of delayed gratification reinforces a negative self-image. Instead of feeling secure and confident in who you are, you become trapped in a cycle of dependency, relying on her validation to feel good about yourself. Over time, this not only affects how she perceives you, but also leaves you feeling emotionally drained and insecure. Let me share a final thought on this matter. Genuine respect and lasting attraction are built on a foundation of mutual effort and self-confidence. When you focus on nurturing your own interests and cultivating your self-worth, you create an aura of independence that is far more attractive than desperate pursuit. The key is to maintain a balance, invest in yourself, and let genuine connection develop naturally. When you do that, you break free from the cycle of chasing and open the door to relationships based on true mutual respect. Reflect on your own experiences. What if you redirected the energy you use for chasing into building your own happiness and self-respect? Imagine a relationship where both people value each other's time equally, a connection where your worth isn't determined by how hard you chase, but by the strength of who you are. When you shift your focus inward, you not only protect your emotional well-being, but also naturally become more attractive. Your self-confidence will shine through, and genuine respect will follow. In summary, the harsh truth is that constant chasing can diminish your value. It creates an imbalance that not only causes you to lose her respect, but also chips away at your own self-esteem. Instead of tying your happiness to someone else's approval, focus on nurturing your inner strength. By doing so, you break free from the exhausting cycle of chasing and build relationships on a foundation of genuine, mutual respect. Take a moment now to reflect on this. Your journey to a balanced, respectful connection begins with recognizing your own worth. Let's break it down. Why Stoic men never chase? Have you ever noticed how some men seem to attract genuine respect and admiration without ever scrambling or chasing after someone's attention? It might look like magic, but in reality, it's all about mastering your emotions and focusing on self-control. Here's where Stoicism comes into play. When a man embraces Stoic principles, he learns to prioritize his inner strength over external validation. This inner strength, this calm confidence, naturally draws people to him, without the need for frantic pursuit. Let's start by looking at the foundation of a Stoic mindset. At its core, Stoicism teaches that your true worth isn't determined by someone else's attention or approval. Instead, it's built on the practice of self-control, rational thinking, and the understanding that you have the power to manage your emotions. Imagine waking up each day knowing that your happiness comes from within, not from the fleeting opinions of others. That's the kind of confidence that sets Stoic men apart. It's all about mastering your emotions. Rather than reacting impulsively to every little setback or waiting anxiously for a response, a Stoic man remains calm and composed. When faced with rejection or even a delayed response, he doesn't let it shake his inner peace. Instead, he takes it as part of the natural ebb and flow of life. This measured response not only helps him maintain his self-respect, but also sends a clear message. He is secure in who he is. And trust me, that kind of self-assurance is incredibly attractive. Let's look at a relatable example. Consider a man named John. In his early dating days, John used to feel insecure whenever his messages went unanswered. He would worry about every silence, over-analyzing each pause as a sign of disinterest. But then, John discovered Stoicism. He learned to pause and reflect before reacting, reminding himself that his worth isn't measured by someone else's timely response. Over time, John shifted his focus from chasing approval to investing in his own growth. He took up a new hobby, dedicated time to his career, and even started working out regularly. What changed? John began to radiate a quiet confidence. He no longer felt the need to chase every interaction because he knew that his self-respect came first. And soon enough, he noticed that women were naturally drawn to him, not because he was pursuing them desperately, but because he exuded stability and purpose. Here's something interesting. When you channel your energy into self-improvement instead of chasing, you're not only investing in yourself, you're also setting clear boundaries. A Stoic man knows that his time is valuable. He's selective about where he directs his attention, and he doesn't waste energy on situations that don't add value to his life. This disciplined approach makes every interaction more meaningful. Rather than being constantly available and taken for granted, his time becomes a treasured commodity. And when your attention is seen as valuable, respect naturally follows. It's all about living with purpose. Stoic men are driven by their own goals and principles. They have a clear vision of what they want to achieve, and they spend their time working towards those ambitions. This sense of purpose isn't just appealing, it's magnetic. Women notice when a man is focused on his own growth because it suggests that he isn't dependent on anyone else to complete him. In contrast, a man who is constantly chasing someone's approval may inadvertently signal that he lacks direction. The difference is clear. Purpose-driven actions speak louder than frantic messages. Let's break it down further. Think of a conversation at a social event. A man who has mastered his emotions will listen attentively and engage in genuine dialogue without dominating the conversation or overstepping boundaries. He might share his opinions confidently, but he also respects the other person's space and input. This balanced interaction is a hallmark of a Stoic approach. When you're comfortable in your own skin, you don't feel the need to overcompensate by chasing. Instead, you let your natural charisma shine through, quietly and confidently. Here's where Stoicism can really make a difference. It teaches you to view every interaction as an opportunity for growth, rather than as a test of your worth. A Stoic man understands that not every connection is meant to be deep or long-lasting. Instead of fixating on one person's response, he focuses on what he can control, his own behavior and mindset. This shift in perspective is incredibly liberating. It frees you from the anxiety of needing constant validation and allows you to engage in relationships more naturally and authentically. Let's consider another real-life scenario. Imagine a man named David, who, unlike many others, never feels the need to chase after a woman. David has cultivated a lifestyle that is rich with hobbies, career achievements, and social connections. When he meets someone new, he is interested, yes, but he doesn't let that interest turn into an obsession for approval. He gives her space and time to reveal her own interest, and he respects her boundaries as well as his. Over time, David finds that the women he meets are more drawn to him precisely because he isn't desperate. His calm, measured approach makes him appear as someone who is self-sufficient and confident. That's the Stoic difference. It's all about mastery over oneself. A Stoic man practices self-discipline in every area of his life, whether it's through regular exercise, maintaining a healthy routine, or engaging in reflective practices like journaling or meditation. He continuously works on building his inner strength. This discipline not only improves his overall quality of life, but also makes him resilient in the face of challenges. When you're resilient, you're less likely to be rattled by setbacks in relationships. Instead, you see them as opportunities to learn and grow. And that kind of mindset is not only attractive, it's inspiring. Let's take a moment to slow down and let that idea sink in. When you invest in your own well-being, you automatically become more appealing to others. Women appreciate a man who is secure in his own identity, who isn't constantly seeking validation, and who has a clear purpose in life. That self-assuredness is the very essence of what makes Stoic men so attractive. They don't need to chase because they know that their value is inherent. They are complete on their own. Now you might be wondering, but what if I feel like I'm missing out by not actively pursuing? Here's the truth. Genuine connection is built on mutual effort. When both people contribute equally, the relationship becomes balanced and fulfilling. A Stoic man understands that if someone truly values him, she will make an effort too. There's no need for him to overextend himself by constantly chasing. Instead, he trusts that his genuine self and his clear sense of purpose will naturally attract the right partner. This trust in oneself and in the natural flow of relationships is a key tenet of Stoicism. Let's explore this idea a bit more. Consider a situation where you're at a cafe or a social gathering. A Stoic man will engage in friendly conversation without appearing overly eager. He listens, he smiles, and he shares his thoughts, all while maintaining a relaxed demeanor. His focus isn't solely on impressing the other person, it's on enjoying the conversation and being present in the moment. That presence is a direct result of mastering one's emotions. When you're not anxious or desperate, you can truly enjoy the interaction, and that enjoyment is contagious. Here's an important point. By not chasing, you're also setting a standard for how you expect to be treated. When you demonstrate that you are self-sufficient and confident, you communicate that your time and energy are valuable. This naturally leads to greater respect from those around you. Women, in turn, are more likely to reciprocate that respect because they see that you are not willing to settle for less than you deserve. It's a powerful cycle. Your self-respect fosters mutual respect, and that mutual respect lays the foundation for a healthy, balanced relationship. It's all about perspective. Instead of focusing on the need to chase, a Stoic man directs his energy towards his own growth and development. He understands that every moment spent worrying about someone else's validation is a moment taken away from building his own life. And as he builds a rich, fulfilling life, his allure becomes undeniable. His interests, his accomplishments, and his steady mindset create an attractive aura that draws people in naturally. Let's take a step back and consider the bigger picture. In today's world, many relationships are built on fleeting moments of intense pursuit, only to fizzle out once the chase is over. A Stoic approach, however, lays the groundwork for lasting connections. By focusing on self-improvement and emotional mastery, you create a stable foundation for relationships that are based on genuine admiration rather than on one-sided pursuit. When both partners are secure in their own selves, the relationship flourishes without the need for constant chasing. Before we wrap up this discussion, let's revisit the core idea one more time. A Stoic man never feels the need to chase because he is secure in his own worth. His actions are deliberate, his emotions controlled, and his life guided by clear, purposeful goals. This inner stability not only protects him from the ups and downs of rejection, but also makes him a magnet for respect and admiration. When you see a man who is comfortable in his own skin, it naturally sparks curiosity and interest. And that, ultimately, is what true attraction is all about. Take a moment now to reflect on your own approach to relationships. Ask yourself, are you investing enough in yourself? Could a shift towards a more Stoic mindset transform your interactions and bring more balance to your connections? Remember, the journey to genuine respect and lasting connection starts with mastering your emotions and trusting in your inherent value. In conclusion, the reason why Stoic men never chase is simple yet profound. They understand that true respect and lasting attraction come from within. By focusing on self-control, personal growth, and maintaining a clear sense of purpose, they naturally command respect without the need for frantic pursuit. This balanced approach not only preserves their self-esteem, but also fosters genuine mutual connections that are far more fulfilling. So, instead of chasing after validation, invest in yourself, stay true to your values, and let your inner strength shine. That's the power of a Stoic mindset. Take this insight with you. When you focus on building your own life, you naturally attract those who appreciate you for who you truly are. And that's a relationship built on genuine respect. A relationship that doesn't require chasing, but simply thrives through the strength of mutual admiration. Let's talk about stop being too available. Have you ever felt that by always being available, you might be lowering your own value? Think about it this way. When you make yourself too accessible, you risk diminishing the natural allure that comes from a little mystery and scarcity. In relationships, whether personal or professional, the principle of scarcity often increases attraction. Today, we're going to explore why being less available can actually boost your value and respect, and how you can maintain that balance without coming off as distant or uninterested. When you're constantly available, it can seem like your time and attention are limitless. But here's a quick example. Imagine a scenario where you respond immediately to every message, every call, or every invitation. At first, it might feel caring and attentive. However, over time, that pattern sends a subtle message, one that says your attention is something always on hand rather than a precious commodity. Think about it this way. When you always say yes, you inadvertently signal that your time is not particularly scarce, and that can reduce its perceived value. Take a moment to reflect. Have you ever experienced a situation where your constant availability led someone to take you for granted? Perhaps a friend or a potential partner began to assume that you were always there to meet their needs without any extra effort on their part. That's a direct consequence of being too available. In any relationship, when one party is always there, the natural excitement of anticipation fades away and the value of your presence diminishes. Consider the psychology behind this idea. Our brains are wired to appreciate what is rare or hard to obtain. This phenomenon is known as the scarcity principle. When something is scarce, we tend to value it more. In the context of relationships, if you're always available, the element of scarcity is lost. Instead of being seen as someone special, whose time is limited and valuable, you might inadvertently become just another option. This can make your efforts seem routine and eventually unremarkable. Here's a quick example. Imagine a man who always drops everything to answer a call or respond to a text. Initially, his attentiveness might be charming, but if it becomes his constant behavior, his attention stops being impressive. It becomes expected. Over time, his partner might begin to feel that his availability is a given, and therefore she may not put in as much effort to reciprocate. When your time is seen as readily available, it loses its impact, and ultimately, think about it this way. Every time you're available at a moment's notice, you might be signaling that you lack other priorities. When you have a busy schedule filled with activities you love, like hobbies, work, or personal development, you naturally create a sense of scarcity. That scarcity can increase your allure because it shows that your time is valuable. The simple act of being selective about when and how you're available sends a powerful message about your self-respect. Now let's talk about some relatable scenarios. Imagine you're dating someone who, at first, seems very interested. In the early stages, you might respond quickly to texts and calls because you're excited about the connection. But as the relationship progresses, if you continue to be the one who always initiates communication, the dynamic can shift. Instead of building mutual excitement, your constant availability might lead her to assume that she doesn't need to put in much effort. Over time, this imbalance can cause the attraction to fade. Here's another quick example. A colleague or friend who is always eager to help, available at any hour, might find that others begin to expect their assistance without reciprocation. While being supportive is a good quality, if it's not balanced with your own needs, people might take your efforts for granted. In relationships, this same principle applies. When you're always available, your contributions become less appreciated, and over time, the natural respect for your time can diminish. Now pause for a moment and reflect on your own life. Consider the times when you felt your time was treated as less valuable because you were too accessible. Perhaps you've experienced burnout or frustration from always being on call. When you allow yourself to have boundaries, you protect your energy and send a clear message. Your time is precious. It's not about playing games or being unavailable on purpose. It's about maintaining a healthy balance that keeps you feeling respected and valued. It's also important to understand that being less available isn't about ignoring people or becoming distant. It's about prioritizing your well-being and making conscious choices about where you invest your energy. Think about it this way. When you schedule time for your hobbies, work, and self-care, you're not rejecting others. You're simply showing that you value yourself. This self-respect can make your interactions more meaningful. When people see that you have a fulfilling life of your own, they are more likely to appreciate the time you do spend with them. Let's delve a bit deeper into the psychology behind this idea. Our perception of value is often tied to what we consider scarce. When you're too available, you inadvertently reduce the scarcity of your time. That scarcity is a key driver of attraction because it creates anticipation and excitement. For example, if you only check your phone a few times a day, rather than constantly being online, you cultivate an air of mystery. This isn't about being aloof or rude. It's about letting your natural schedule and priorities shine through. When your time is clearly structured and intentional, it becomes more desirable. Here's a quick scenario to illustrate the point further. Imagine two individuals, one who is always available and one who has a well-structured routine. The one with a routine often appears more intriguing because their time is clearly reserved for specific purposes. Their limited availability makes each interaction more significant as it is not taken for granted. People tend to appreciate moments that are seen as rare and special. Therefore, by maintaining healthy boundaries, you create opportunities for deeper connections. Another aspect to consider is the emotional impact of being overly available. Constant availability can sometimes lead to feelings of overwhelm and resentment. When you're always on call, you might start to feel that your needs are secondary to others, which can erode your self-esteem over time. By setting clear boundaries, you safeguard your emotional well-being. This, in turn, helps you approach relationships from a place of strength rather than obligation. Let's break it down. By not being too available, you create a balanced dynamic where both parties have equal opportunities to engage and contribute. In a healthy relationship, both people invest effort and respect each other's time. When you maintain this balance, your interactions are more likely to be appreciated. Instead of falling into a pattern where your availability is assumed, you become someone whose attention is both respected and valued. Reflect on this for a moment. When was the last time you felt truly appreciated because someone respected your boundaries? Often, it's when you've shown that you have a full, rich life of your own. That sense of independence and self-worth is incredibly attractive, and it naturally encourages others to value you more. It creates a positive cycle where you feel respected, and in turn, you can reciprocate that respect. In summary, being too available can sometimes hurt your value by making your time seem less scarce and therefore less desirable. Think about it this way. When you reserve your energy for moments that truly matter, you not only protect your own well-being, but also enhance the quality of your interactions. By maintaining clear boundaries, you send a strong message about your self-worth. This isn't about being unavailable for the sake of it. It's about creating a balanced approach that benefits both you and those around you. Remember, your time and energy are valuable resources. When you guard them wisely, you cultivate an environment where every interaction is appreciated. So, take a moment to reflect on your habits and consider how you might shift from being overly available to creating a sense of scarcity that naturally increases attraction and respect. That's the key to building healthier, more balanced relationships. Let's talk about the right way to pursue women. Have you ever wondered if there's a way to show genuine interest without coming off as desperate? When it comes to pursuing women, the right approach is all about attracting through confidence and self-control, qualities that high-value men naturally exhibit. Rather than chasing after someone and risking the loss of your own value, it's far more effective to let your calm demeanor and clear sense of purpose speak for you. But here's the key difference. It's not about playing games or pretending to be aloof. It's about being authentic and letting your actions reflect who you truly are. When you pursue a woman from a place of genuine interest and self-assurance, you create an environment where attraction can flourish naturally. Women begin to notice when you're comfortable in your own skin, when you're focused on your own goals, hobbies, and well-being. That's the kind of confidence that doesn't need to shout. It simply draws people in. Think about it this way. Imagine you meet someone at a social event. Instead of immediately bombarding her with messages or trying to schedule back-to-back dates, you engage in a relaxed conversation. You listen attentively, share a few stories about your interests, and maintain a pleasant, confident smile. This approach shows that you value the connection without overstepping your own boundaries. When you do this, women begin to notice that you're not desperate for attention. You're simply enjoying the interaction for what it is. One practical tip is to focus on quality over quantity. Rather than sending multiple messages throughout the day, consider waiting a bit before reaching out again. This doesn't mean playing hard to get, it simply means respecting both your own time and hers. For example, after a meaningful conversation, you might say, "I really enjoyed talking with you today. Let's catch up again soon." That small pause gives her space to reflect on the connection, while also signaling that your time is valuable. When you show interest with self-control, you naturally become more intriguing. Confidence doesn't come from constant contact. It comes from having a full, engaging life. High-value men are often seen pursuing their own passions, whether that's advancing in their careers, working on fitness goals, or dedicating time to hobbies. These pursuits add to their overall attractiveness. When you're busy building a fulfilling life for yourself, you're not waiting around for someone else's validation, and that independence is incredibly appealing. Let's consider a real-life scenario. Imagine a man named Mark who is passionate about photography. Instead of constantly texting his date to check if she's free, Mark spends his weekends capturing beautiful landscapes and sharing a few select photos on social media. When he meets someone, he talks about his latest project with excitement, but he also listens when she shares her own interests. Mark's conversation flows naturally, and he never appears overly eager. In fact, his dedication to his craft makes his time even more valuable. When you see that a man is actively pursuing his own goals, you start to appreciate his independence and the balance he brings to the relationship. But here's another key point. Self-control is essential in building genuine attraction. When you're in control of your emotions, you don't let every little moment of silence or delay in response shake your confidence. Instead, you trust that if a connection is meant to grow, it will develop naturally over time. This calm, patient approach can be refreshing in a world where many people feel the need to constantly prove themselves. When you hold back from over-communicating, you allow room for anticipation and genuine interest to build. Another important aspect is setting healthy boundaries. This means being clear about what you expect from yourself and, by extension, from your relationships. When you set boundaries, you communicate that your time and energy are valuable. For instance, if you've had a great time on a date, rather than calling or texting incessantly afterward, you give yourself and her a little breathing room. That space not only prevents you from coming across as needy, but also allows both of you to reflect on the positive aspects of the encounter. Over time, this balanced approach creates a foundation of mutual respect. But here's the key difference. High-value men understand that showing interest isn't about sacrificing your own identity. It's about enhancing your natural charm with confidence and calm. When you pursue a woman by focusing on your own growth, you create an irresistible magnetism that isn't based on dependency. Women are attracted to someone who is self-sufficient and secure, someone who can be both interesting and respectful. It's a dynamic where both partners have their own lives and contribute equally to the relationship, rather than one person doing all the chasing. Take a moment to imagine how your interactions might change if you focused on building your own interests first. Instead of trying to impress someone by being constantly available, you allow your genuine qualities to shine through naturally. When you let your authentic self come forward, you create opportunities for deeper connections that are built on mutual understanding rather than on the pressure of constant communication. When you do this, women begin to notice not just your words, but your actions. They see that you're engaged in life, that you're pursuing your passions, and that you're comfortable with who you are. And that ultimately is the right way to pursue women. It's not about playing hard to get, it's about playing it smart, demonstrating that your attention is both a gift and a reflection of your value. Let's break it down further with another practical example. Suppose you're at a networking event or a casual social gathering. Instead of fixating on one person, you mingle, engage with several interesting people, and let the conversation flow naturally. When you do find a connection with someone special, you show interest without overwhelming her. Perhaps you exchange contact information, and then, after a brief pause, you reach out with a thoughtful message. This approach communicates that while you are interested, you also have a full, engaging life of your own. That balance is what makes the interaction memorable and leaves a lasting positive impression. Moreover, the right way to pursue women involves being present in the moment, rather than worrying about the next message or planning the next date before the current conversation has even unfolded. Focus on enjoying the interaction as it happens. When you're fully present, you're more likely to pick up on subtle cues, both verbal and non-verbal, that indicate genuine interest. This mindfulness not only improves the quality of your communication, but also reinforces your confidence and calm demeanor. In summary, the right way to pursue women is grounded in confidence, self-control, and mutual respect. It's about showing genuine interest through subtle, thoughtful actions rather than frantic, needy behavior. When you build a life full of your own passions and maintain a calm, composed attitude, you naturally attract respect and admiration. Women begin to notice that your attention is a valuable part of your overall character, a trait that makes you not only more attractive, but also more authentic. Take a moment now to reflect on these ideas. Ask yourself, are you pursuing in a way that reflects your true value, or are you overextending yourself in an attempt to gain validation? The answer lies in the balance between self-improvement and genuine connection. By focusing on your own growth and demonstrating calm, confident interest, you pave the way for relationships that are deep, balanced, and truly rewarding. Remember, genuine attraction isn't built on chasing. It's built on mutual respect and the shared enjoyment of each other's company. So, embrace the right way to pursue women by being authentic, patient, and confident. Let your true self shine and watch as respect and admiration naturally follow. Let's explore this: how to build a high-value mindset. Have you ever wondered what truly makes a man attractive beyond his looks or charm? It all starts with how you see yourself, your mindset. A high-value mindset isn't something you acquire overnight. It's built through personal growth, self-discipline, and a commitment to living by principles that enrich every aspect of your life. Today, we're going to dive deep into how you can build a high-value mindset that naturally attracts respect and admiration from others. It all starts with how you see yourself. The journey to a high-value mindset begins by recognizing your own worth. It isn't about comparing yourself to others, but rather about understanding that your value comes from within. When you truly believe that you are enough just as you are, you set the stage for every decision you make. This self-belief is the cornerstone of personal growth and lays the foundation for a fulfilling life. Let's break it down further by looking at three key areas: physical health, financial independence, and emotional control. These aren't isolated traits. They work together to create a balanced, resilient version of yourself that others naturally find attractive. Think about physical health for a moment. When you commit to regular exercise, proper nutrition, and adequate rest, you're not only taking care of your body, you're reinforcing a message to yourself that you are worth the effort. For instance, imagine a man who starts his day with a workout routine. With every drop of sweat, he is investing in his strength and energy. Over time, this discipline not only transforms his body, but also boosts his self-confidence. When you feel physically strong and healthy, that energy radiates outward. Women notice a man who takes care of his body because it's a sign that he values himself. And when you value yourself, you naturally command more respect. It all starts with how you see yourself, and that includes how you take care of your physical well-being. A daily workout, a nutritious meal plan, and consistent sleep patterns might seem like small steps, but each one contributes to a foundation of self-respect. Imagine a scenario where a man, let's call him Jake, decides to turn his sedentary lifestyle around. He begins with small changes, walking daily, gradually incorporating weight training and learning about nutrition. Over months, Jake not only loses weight and gains muscle, but his confidence soars. He starts dressing better, carrying himself with a newfound poise, and his overall energy becomes contagious. That transformation, driven by self-discipline, is a key element of a high-value mindset. Here's where Stoicism can help you transform your mindset. Stoicism teaches you to focus on what you can control and to let go of what you cannot. This philosophy is incredibly empowering because it reminds you that your emotional state is within your own power. By embracing Stoic principles, you learn to view challenges as opportunities for growth rather than setbacks. For example, when faced with a tough day at work or a moment of personal failure, instead of spiraling into negative thoughts, a Stoic approach encourages you to pause, reflect, and choose your response wisely. This mastery over your emotions not only helps you maintain inner peace, but also makes you more resilient in the face of adversity. Now let's explore financial independence. Financial stability isn't just about accumulating wealth, it's about having the freedom to make choices that align with your values. When you manage your money wisely, whether through budgeting, saving, or investing, you create a secure foundation that allows you to pursue your passions without constant worry. Consider a man who sets clear financial goals, tracks his expenses, and invests in his future. Over time, this discipline leads to a sense of freedom and confidence. Financial independence signals that you're capable of taking care of yourself, which is an attractive quality in any relationship. It shows that you are responsible, forward-thinking, and committed to building a stable life. When you're not burdened by financial stress, you can focus on personal growth and enjoy life more fully, which in turn makes you naturally magnetic. Let's pause here for a moment and reflect on your own financial habits. How do you manage your money? Do you have a plan for your future? Even small steps toward financial stability can make a big difference in how you perceive your own value and, by extension, how others see you. Now let's discuss emotional control, a vital aspect of a high-value mindset. Emotional control means being aware of your feelings and managing them effectively, rather than letting them dictate your actions. It's about responding to situations with calm and rationality instead of reacting impulsively. When you master your emotions, you build a reservoir of inner strength that helps you navigate life's ups and downs. For example, think about a time when you received disappointing news. A person with strong emotional control might take a deep breath, analyze the situation, and respond constructively, rather than letting anger or despair take over. This kind of resilience not only improves your decision-making, but also builds trust and respect in your relationships. Here's a relatable scenario. Consider a man who faces rejection, maybe a date that doesn't go as planned or a project at work that falls short. Instead of letting that rejection define him, he takes it as a lesson. He might journal about his experience, seek feedback, and use the setback as motivation to improve. Over time, this approach not only makes him more resilient, but also signals to others that he is not easily shaken. That steadiness in the face of adversity is incredibly attractive and is a hallmark of a high-value mindset. It all starts with how you see yourself, and that includes managing your emotional landscape. When you learn to control your reactions and maintain a calm, centered state, you create an aura of reliability and strength. This is where Stoic principles again come into play. Stoicism teaches you that you cannot control external events, but you can control your response to them. By internalizing this lesson, you free yourself from the cycle of reactive emotions, allowing you to approach life with a sense of calm confidence that is both empowering and attractive. Building a high-value mindset also involves continuous learning and self-improvement. It's important to remember that this journey isn't a one-time effort, but an ongoing process. Every new skill you acquire, every book you read, every experience you learn from adds another layer to your character. For instance, imagine a man who sets aside time each week to read about subjects that interest him, be it philosophy, business, or even fiction that broadens his perspective. This habit of lifelong learning not only enriches his mind, but also makes him a more engaging conversationalist. When you invest in your own education, you signal that you are constantly growing and that growth is inherently attractive. Self-discipline is the thread that ties all these elements together. Whether it's sticking to a workout regimen, following a budget, or practicing mindfulness, discipline is what ensures that your goals become a reality. It's about creating habits that reinforce your self-worth and drive. Consider a man who wakes up every morning with a plan. He sets his intentions for the day, follows a routine, and holds himself accountable. This level of discipline doesn't just improve productivity, it also builds a sense of pride in one's achievements. And when you feel proud of your progress, that pride radiates confidence, making you more appealing to those around you. Here's where Stoicism can help you transform your mindset even further. By embracing the Stoic principle of focusing on what you can control, you learn to prioritize actions that contribute to your long-term goals. Instead of getting sidetracked by temporary setbacks, you maintain your focus on the bigger picture. This not only reduces stress, but also ensures that your energy is directed toward meaningful pursuits. It's a way of living that reinforces your value every day, and it lays a strong foundation for a high-value mindset. Let's take another real-life example. Imagine a man named Ethan who decides to overhaul his life by focusing on his health, finances, and emotional well-being. Ethan starts by setting small, manageable goals, like running 3 times a week, saving a modest portion of his income, and practicing meditation daily. Over time, these small changes compound, leading to noticeable improvements in his overall quality of life. He feels more energetic, more secure about his future, and better equipped to handle stress. This transformation doesn't happen overnight, but each step reinforces his belief in his own value. As Ethan's self-discipline grows, so does his natural magnetism. People begin to notice his steady progress and are drawn to his quiet confidence. It all starts with how you see yourself. When you invest in your personal growth, whether through physical health, financial independence, or emotional control, you're not just building a high-value mindset, you're creating a life that naturally attracts respect and admiration. The process requires patience, commitment, and a willingness to embrace continuous improvement. Remember, every positive change, no matter how small, contributes to the bigger picture of who you are and what you value. Now pause for a moment and ask yourself, what small steps can I take today to invest in my own growth? Whether it's a short workout, setting up a budget, or spending a few minutes in quiet reflection, these actions add up over time. They are the building blocks of a high-value mindset, one that is rooted in self-discipline, enriched by learning, and empowered by Stoic principles. In conclusion, building a high-value mindset is a journey that touches every part of your life. It starts with a clear understanding of your own worth and continues with disciplined actions in the realms of physical health, financial independence, and emotional control. By embracing self-discipline and the timeless lessons of Stoicism, you create a solid foundation that not only enhances your life, but also naturally attracts respect and admiration. When you invest in yourself and maintain a focused, balanced approach, you send a powerful message. You are valuable, and your time and energy are worth cherishing. Take this insight with you. Every effort you make toward personal growth is a step toward a more fulfilling, high-value life. Embrace the journey, remain patient, and let your inner strength shine through. That is the essence of a truly high-value mindset, and it's the key to living a life of genuine respect and lasting attraction. Let's wrap it up. You know the truth. It's clear that constantly chasing women only undermines your self-worth. Throughout this video, we explored how chasing leads to imbalance, erodes respect, and drains your confidence. We discussed the importance of self-control and how Stoic principles can help you build a high-value mindset through personal growth, emotional control, and discipline in every aspect of your life, from physical health to financial independence. We also looked at how being less available and focusing on your own development can make you more attractive and respected. Take a moment to reflect on these insights. Instead of expending your energy on chasing validation, invest that energy into nurturing your own growth. Focus on developing self-discipline, building a fulfilling routine, and embracing the power of Stoicism to maintain emotional balance. When you concentrate on these areas, you not only become more confident, but also naturally attract genuine, respectful connections. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments below. Have you experienced the effects of chasing, or have you found success in focusing on your own self-worth? Your experiences and thoughts can help others on this journey, so please share them. And if you found this conversation valuable, please subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to get more Stoicism-related content in the future. Your support means a lot and helps spread these empowering ideas. Take a moment now to pause and let these words sink in. Remember, the path to genuine respect starts with valuing yourself. Keep investing in your growth, stay true to your principles, and watch as meaningful connections naturally follow. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to reading your comments. Stay strong, stay focused, and never forget, your self-worth is the foundation of everything you do.